So I'll just ask everybody at this time if you can mute your microphone, and we'll get going into our unity prayer, bringing everything together and joining in as one happy family here. So yeah, let's just do a little bit of relaxation, because everybody at this end of the day is normally accumulated lots of tension, a lot of stress that seems to follow us around these days. So yeah, just nice deep breath in, breathe in relaxation. And as you breathe out, just let go of any kind of stress or tension. Breathe in a willingness to open your heart and your mind to what the universe has to share with us this day. And as you're breathing out, just release any resistance that you might have within you that would block that or stop that or alter it in any way. We want clarity, we want purpose, we want vision and truth. We just ask that all that is holy and divine would be in attendance of this gathering, that they would be able to show us the way to what is clear, what is true, what is meant to be in the most benevolent way. We have a lot of energy within us right now that is shifting and changing. And we just ask that that energy be calm and grounded as we come together for the time that we are sharing. We ask that each other open their arms and their heart and their compassion to those that are sharing their truth, knowing that there are many forms of truth, and we acknowledge and embrace all of it as being worthy of being heard. And we just know that from that place, we take it within and align it to our own sense of truth and being. And for what you are being blessed with, you can partake of it. And if you feel in any way uncomfortable, you are welcome to just pass it by, but still with that element or that energy of compassion and caring. And so we ask that the vision of what is meant to be for our circle and our group that has formed for the purpose of sharing and guiding humanity through these new times, we just ask that we have a very specific and clear vision that comes from this time together. And so it is. Yeah, just do a few neck and shoulder rolls. I'm just sensing there's lots of tension in the room. Just let it go. You know, this is a safe place. This is a sacred place for each of us to gather and to work together in whatever form that takes. We're moving right along as far as the group goes. I was sharing a little bit, if you were just joining us now, that we've had some really encouraging information come through today that is asking us to prepare our positions, so we'll call it. And by that, I mean, we need to have the ability to start working with extra people that can help this community form and develop. It doesn't have to be something that you are specifically trained for. It's just something that you are passionate about. And the simplest things that we're going to need, it's like we're looking at having the need for groundskeepers and maintenance people and people who want to just come in and hold the hand of someone who is going through the process. It doesn't have to be something that is anything more than just pure love and compassion that brings you into this circle and allows you to be a part of the work that we're doing. The other gift that is being shared, and I was really excited about that, is that the project that we are presenting as a group is one that can also be expanded or extended anywhere in the world. And to hear that was really exciting, because I know we have people from the States joining in, we have people from Western Canada, we have Eastern Canada, we have them from all over. And up until now, it was very difficult to say, sure, you can be part of what we're doing. I get it that you know, we all can't physically meet, but we can virtually meet. And up until now, that's been exciting to be able to share. But to know that wherever you are in the world, this same concept that we have built and the blueprint for the concept can be shared in communities anywhere, and that they will be financially included under the umbrella of our service. So, you know, the vision gets bigger. I know we have a hard enough time just keeping the reins on the vision that we've already started to build, but having the idea that what we are building can be utilized by others whose hearts are aligned to what we're doing is pretty extraordinary. So yeah. For those of you who have gone through the teaching process that we did, the 9 weeks, we're going to be sending out in the next email kind of a questionnaire or a poll to see what it is that you enjoyed about it, maybe how you benefited with going through it, how you might have suggestions or contributions that you would like to see more of or included. We really want and value your own personal experience. And through that, I believe eventually it becomes an encouragement for others. We have over 100 people in our group right now, certainly the Facebook group, there's over 100. And as you can see, we're still, just the group of us that gather every week with the commitment to make the effort to pay attention, to be a part of it, developing it, sharing. It would be nice to see that expand a little bit more. Certainly as we need more and more people to be involved, this is going to be essential. So if you wouldn't mind when that email comes, just take the time, fill it out, do your part, be a part. You're already a part just by virtue of you showing up here each week. I know that something that we're doing is speaking to your heart and your soul and inviting you in. So know that that doesn't go unnoticed, and it is appreciated that your heart has called you to this work along with ours. So thank you very much for showing up.
Donna, how are you hoping to get those responses? I didn't realize it was going to go out in an email.
Even if the email is just a link to what we're doing, it just gives them the opportunity to access, whether it's done on Facebook or whether it's done through our Jot form. That we'll have to play with in the background to see what is the easiest. I know you do magic with the Jot form, and a lot of the data can be gathered easily that way, whereas the other way it's more manual. So we can play in the background to see which way that will be the easiest for everyone to do and for the benefit to be shared.
And in terms of even some of the polling questions, I still feel that the best place is in the group so that other people can also see responses. So please always, please respond if we put it up in the Facebook group so it can help to engage other people as well.
Yeah, so it's not just the main admin team always dropping in information and dialoguing. We've really been trying to engage people, but we're still finding that they're a little reluctant. So that's a mystery for us to unravel and to see what it takes to get more activity, more engagement, especially right now as we are ready to expand very quickly. We do need the extra hands and hearts to step in and help us out here. So if there's any way that you can do that, even if you're just going in and saying, wow, I was able to do something with the last session or one of the sessions that we were in, share your experience. And it doesn't have to be in great detail, but at least it's a kind of a note of encouragement to others that good things are happening. And if you take the time to show up, it is actually worth your while. We're not trying to sell anybody anything. We're not trying to, sign people up for anything. We're on a mission that is completely different than corporate world has ever been up to. So it's kind of essential that people get exposed to that and understand that what we're doing is it's sacred work and it's life purpose work. Because a lot of people in our category of healers, light workers, mentors, teachers, facilitators, we know what we're here to do. And it really is important that we know we're not alone in that, and that there is a vastly growing network of other people that are on a similar mission in their own area with their own expertise, but how it interconnects and interlinks together as humanity is stepping forward right now. It's very important that we have access to all that is available and everyone that's heart is lining up to play a role in this. So having said that, we're going to open the questions up tonight. It's anything goes. You can ask anything at all. If it's something that I can answer, I will do that. If it's something that I feel someone else can answer or help you with, I'm going to encourage people to start interacting and sharing too. It's get used to being seen, get used to being heard. The time of being ignored is over. There's no point in knowing what you know, having done what you do, and not sharing that. It's time to speak up and speak out. And this is probably the safest place you will ever find to do that. Because as you step forward, even if you're nervous, even if you're a little uncomfortable initially, you have a complete support team here and a cheering section that is going to make it as easy as possible. And I think at the end of the day, you'll be glad that you took the plunge. So it's not just always, a few making it happen here. Okay, so yeah, just take a couple of moments and I want you really to breathe into your awareness, what it is that your heart maybe needs as far as an understanding, maybe some clarification, maybe a sense of new direction, because that can happen too as new information's coming through. Sometimes, we wake up in the day and all of a sudden our path has just taken a turn in an unexpected way. That is a good thing, but it doesn't always feel like it when you're first introduced to the idea of shifting gears or changing direction. So that's what we're here for, helping everybody along the path and along the way. So yeah, just breathe in that, what can I ask? Because it really is essential tonight that everyone is heard, not just one or two, but everyone in some way has a question that is answered or addressed so that you can feel more comfortable or clearer about what we're up to in this group. Okay. Okay, we have a question. Catherine.
Hi, Donna. Hi,
Hi.
everybody. So just wanted to introduce myself really quickly. My name is Catherine Muller. I was invited by Dennis Barda. Hello. And yeah, I really would love, because I am new to the group. I actually just joined today, so I would love clarification on, intentions, goals, how I can best contribute to the group, anything else I would need to know or to point me in the right direction. Because I know you said something about some sort of course or teaching,
You're right in there. Dennis, take it away.
Welcome, welcome, welcome. So at the top of our Quantum Healers 369, the heart-centered page, we have a link to our February 1st meeting, which is Donna presenting the vision and basically the project. Then Yvonne has taken an enormous amount of time to create PDFs of all our meetings, and the training sessions were recorded. Now there's a couple I think we have to go back and re-record because somehow we don't have them yet to be posted. But if you go to the guide, it'll send you to that, you have private links under the guide, and you'll be able to take your time to go through. And what personally helps me is I take Yvonne's notes printed, and then when I'm listening, I can add my notes again. And I've been through all of them more than twice, all of them. So you can take the time, whichever one speaks to you that you need to hear again. That's where I would start to catch yourself up.
Okay, got it.
And just know that there's no expectations that anyone has to be limited to any one thing, because this is truly an unfolding project for humanity. You may feel that you enter in one door, but through the process of helping others, you end up through several different doors with your life experience and your wisdom. So it really is a fluid development when it comes to helping people. We have no limitations. We have no expectations other than that you come in with your heart wide open and your compassion ready to be used. Because a lot of people entering in right now, there's a lot of hurt going on. And I feel that we are that gap between they're broken and the med bed. We're the ones that hold their hand and prepare them for the experience in a way that says, we care about you. You are worthy of this. This is a gift being given from the grace of God. And that your turn when your time will come. And we prepare them for that, but we also are developing a program for after that. Because once someone has gone through that amount of change, that needs to be supported as well. Now, the beautiful thing is that each and every one of you here, as part of the project, will be one of the first ones to go through the MedBed experience. So it's kind of exciting when you know that in order for us to be able to do what we came here to do, we have to be in alignment and in that healed state that gives us stamina and strength and youth and energy and vitality so that we can do the work and stay in alignment and stay grounded while we do it. So yeah, just a little expanded information, but thank you, Dennis, for sharing that. Okay, someone else with a question? Just remember, everybody's got one and you may get more. Let's get those hands up. Charlotte. Just need to unmute.
There we go.
There you go.
I guess my question is, where do we go from here? How do we get from here as someone like me sitting in my own space?
Mhm.
I have my own practice. How do I contribute from here?
Okay. Once you establish where your passion lies and the work that you are willing to do, then we put you on a list of people that will be interviewed for a position as a permanent, I don't want to call them therapists. What do we want to call ourselves? Emissary of light.
Mm.
Let's say that, because a gardener is just as powerful a healer as anybody else. So let's call us, as you have been added to our Emissary of Light community, you will have access. And when we recommend or refer someone to you, initially, right now, you will need to be able to do them via Zoom or online,
Mhm.
because we do not have a center set up yet, and it will take time for that to evolve. But we still want people to have access to help.
Okay.
A lot of what we have prepared, as we've been going through over a year of development of this, we are actually putting together, we have videos that people can watch. We have different steps that they go through that nurtures them through the process instead of shocking them through it. Because we all know that when people are in that place of, okay, I think I'm ready for this whole experience, there's a huge amount of steps between that moment and the moment when they're given the go-ahead for the med bed. There's a lot to happen,
Mhm.
physically, mentally, emotionally, spiritually, financially. And we have added one that has become extremely important, is sexuality. That on the planet right now is probably one of the primary reasons that people are broken.
Mhm.
And it's not just this generation, it's many, many generations. So that whole concept is also being offered and shared in a very compassionate and caring way that they feel safe. And that becomes the theme of our journey with everyone. They need to feel safe in the process. So there's no judgment, there's no there's no expectations. There's just us compassionately holding their hand for the part that we play. And when we feel we've completed that, we will hand them off to the next person that can help them with other steps. So no one person will be expected to provide all the services, because as you'll see with the mind map presented with the first video, it's a big concept.
Mhm.
And when you look at our human journey, it's a big deal. And there's so many moving parts to it. Now, the good news is not everyone is going to need every part repaired. So what we end up doing is addressing them or assessing them for the most serious ones. Because if somebody can face their worst fear, if someone can address their judgment, if someone can own their part in their own experience by recognizing they have chosen this journey and this path, once that is established, it has a huge effect on everything else. Everything else starts to change when you address the big ones.
Mhm.
People are more confident, they're more connected, they're more willing to explore further, layer, deeper. So yeah, it's a process. And we've really taken a lot of time to make sure that that process is supported and encouraged until they get to the point where they do start one-on-one, which is actually where we're at right now with the group. We will be starting one-on-one, so that whatever residuals you haven't resolved through the series that we've provided, now we're looking at things that need to be specific to your unique and individual soul. So yeah, we celebrate with you. Does that kind of answer it, or is that too much?
No, it answers it. I'm just here and I'm ready, I
Yes.
guess.
Yeah.
I'm ready. So as long as that is what I'm bringing forward to the table, then that's definitely answered.
Yes, I do know that the universe would not have any one of you coming to this circle if you weren't ready.
Okay.
You may think there's still things that need to be adjusted. Absolutely, we all do.
Mhm.
You may think that there's things that you haven't faced or you haven't conquered. Absolutely. That's why you're here, because what is left are the really deep, dark, and hurtful ones that only a support system like this can love you through. So it's like, yeah, we all come with our baggage, our luggage, and whatever else we're dragging along. But at some point, you need to know that that has to be let go if you really want to soar as high as you can. And certainly after the MedBed experience, without having physical limitations and age-related situations where our bodies just cannot endure working for long hours or difficult situations, not having those limitations, we're not going to know what to do with ourselves. It's like, woohoo. You know, when they say, I wish I was 25 and knew what I knew now. Well, guess what? It's going to happen. We get to keep the wisdom, but we get a body that can keep up with it.
I can't wait.
I know. I know.
I can't wait.
That's my prayer too.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Okay, next.
Donna, if somebody else doesn't have a question, what I think would be nice after hearing Catherine is they've already at some point heard who we are and what we are. I'd love to hear from these people, everyone that's here today, who they are, maybe what brought them, what are some of the certifications or gifts or talents that they bring to our community.
Okay.
If you don't get any more questions, I think it would be great to get to know people that have been sharing space with us for 10 weeks.
Yeah, that's a good idea. And then when we get done our questions, we can open the floor to make sure that everyone gets a formal welcome and an introduction. So, okay. Who's next with their question? This can be the admin team as well. It's like you're not getting off scot-free. Okay, Dennis, go ahead.
Okay, I would like just simply clarifying the redemption process. Is that taking Canadian dollars and purchasing Zim and then taking that for, I don't quite understand. And I've gone on and I've listened to videos and I really don't have that whole concept. I don't have it.
Okay. It is a good question, and it's one that has many layers to it, and it can be complicated. So here I'm going to try and simplify it as much as I can. A lot of people, certainly members that are here today, at some point in the last few years were inspired or guided or directed to go out and purchase foreign currency. And the foreign currency that has been designated as the one that will support the humanitarian work that is going on is the African Zim. The Zim currency over the years, well, we all know what has happened to Africa. It has been taken, all the resources, the treasure of their nation, the people themselves, everything has been taken away from that country since virtually time began. And as part of that whole process, to keep them poor and to keep them in a low vibrational state, their dollar was devalued down to the point where it was worth nothing. So what happens is that you can purchase their Zim dollar, and where we have kind of $5, $10, and $20 bills, they will have 20 trillion and 60 billion. They have really ridiculously high values placed on their money because initially it was worth nothing. So what happens when the new RV takes place, which means all the money for every country around the world is going to be created as an equal value. So anyone that has African Zims is going to be a gazillionaire overnight. And the
So
promise
RV
is
stands for, RV stands,
revaluation of the global currency. So every country, when this happens, and it's any day now, if you go online, you will be able to find lots of information on the quantum financial system. And that is what is funding our humanitarian work when it happens. Because the people that have the African ZIMs can only access the value of that cash if they are sponsoring a humanitarian group or project. Otherwise, they don't get anything. So it's pretty extraordinary to see how Africa is going to be taken from the lowest of low frequency and vibrational energy continents and countries to this pristine and elevated, top of the line, beautiful blessing that that nation truly deserves. They're going to be given their wealth back. They're going to be given their resources back. They're going to be given the tribal communities running their own areas back. There will be no government. There's not going to be a government anywhere on the planet. It's going back to community-run organizations and structures all over. This whole project, if you want to investigate it, it's another one that's really good to watch, and it's called One Small Town by Michael Tellinger. You can go on YouTube, and he has all kinds of videos.
It's on our website too, I think. or on
yes,
our
yes,
group.
it is, it is.
Yeah, if you watch that, you will start and understand how our global communities are already being restructured. His project has already been given the quantum approval, and they have started funding him already, as well as Simon Parks has 3 projects, one in the UK, and I think 2 in the US. So his communities have already been given their financial approval to start building and to start creating the facilities, because as soon as this quantum system is triggered or released, which right now, all of the world is now set up for it. Your banks are set up for it. Everything is already prepared for it. The only thing that hasn't happened is the switch has not been flipped so that we are on the quantum system completely instead of the old fiat system, which was the system where the cabal, or the, we'll call them the black hats of the world, printed money for nothing and charged the entire world interest and dues for nothing. Everybody paid taxes, everybody paid dues, everybody paid. And then when you died, you paid again. So that whole system is going to be completely shut down. So they no longer have access to any kind of funding or finances at all. So that is
So-
going to be powerful change in the world very, very shortly.
So on the journey that I'm personally on,
Mhm.
under the community and project that we're working with, there was no need for me to rush out and buy Zim. This is
It's
not,
not that there's a rush that you do it. Obviously, if you were guided to, and this is what it comes down to, there are those that were guided to do that. I know Karen isn't here with us tonight, but she is one that was guided to do that, to go out and purchase Zims, which
this is
automatically.
all I,
Go
yeah,
ahead.
I keep hearing it. I just keep hearing it and keep hearing it and keep hearing it. And I'm like, what did I miss something? And what am I supposed to be doing? And
No,
Okay.
you haven't missed it, because if you were meant to be a Zim holder of funding, you would already be in that position now. The other money that has value and purpose for the shift is the Vietnamese dong and
Mhm.
the Iraqi dinar.
right. Okay. I read all that. So
Yeah.
that's exactly what I was looking for. Thank you.
Yeah, the only thing that you still have access to and would still benefit you, especially right now, because it has gone down as low as it has been in this century, and that is silver. You can purchase silver from coin exchanges, monetary exchanges. I don't think the banks will deal with it anymore, because they know what people are up to, and they have stopped selling silver. So you can still get silver. And it's basically taking the idea of we buy silver, and I think there's 25 in a pack, where right now it's worth around $300 to $400. When the RV happens, the value of silver is almost going to equal the value of gold. So overnight, what you have in hand that is affordable and it is manageable and you can still get it, it's going to increase dramatically in value, because silver is actually one of the base metals that nearly everything that is energy run depends on. The real value of silver is almost equal to gold. That's
But
been hidden.
the purchase of silver is outside of the redemption process.
Correct. Yeah.
Okay.
Silver will still be traded through what is left of the banks. The banks for a period of time will still be functioning to get everybody's accounts fully set up, and everyone will be called into your bank so that you can get your system set up on the quantum system. It also comes with a phone where all things financial, everything is going to be on that phone, and there's no charge for it. So we'll see how that goes. I've heard different ways. I've heard some people say it will cost it initially, and other people are saying it won't cost you. So that's to be determined. But yeah, we have a big change coming. But the moment you hear that change happening, that's the signal that our project is now in the process of being presented. I will get a call to go in and be interviewed. And in that interview, I will present our project and what is happening. And it will go through a process of 15 to 20 minutes. I will go in with the idea and come out with approval or not approval. Well, I know based on what we're doing, we've already got approval. So it's a matter of registering what we're doing. And then the funds within 30 days will be available for us to start doing whatever needs to be done. And from what I'm understanding today, it's not in the hundreds of thousands or millions, it's in the billions that we have access to. So it's exciting times. And sometimes for us who we've been living in sort of in the limited state for such a long time, in poverty or in a state of not always having wealth, because that was part of our training as souls and individuals. For us to enter into this state of having everything that you've ever dreamed of supported and provided, it's pretty exciting. But remember, it can also be overwhelming. So we will be working with that energy as well. And yeah, it's a while before we can talk about it openly anywhere, because these groups will be set up first, and then the rest of humanity will recognize that things have changed in their own accounts and in their own finances too. So lots of change coming in a good way. Yeah.
Yes, thank you. I had a very new type of epiphany this morning. I was in the shower and I was attempting to try and do my gratitude. And then I just started crying. I broke down and I said, I didn't fucking sign up for this shit. And then I caught myself and I literally started laughing out loud and said, yeah, I did.
Yeah,
I
that's
did.
it.
So it was my tears washed all of that away and they went right down the drain.
Yeah, but that is part of the duality that we as souls are going through. It's like the part of us that knows that this is inevitable, it's why we're here, standing beside the part of us that has been through the struggle and all of the stress that comes with it, thinking, am I going to survive long enough to ever see it? So these two parts of us are present in every moment. And what I can tell you right now is you get to choose which one you want to be every day. In every moment, in every breath, you get to choose which one you want to be. And when, Princess Lack shows up and says, you can't have that, because it's like the other part of you stepping forward and saying, if it is part of my dream and my vision and my purpose, I already have it. declare it so. So yes, that's part of our empowerment process, stepping up. Yeah. Sometimes easier said than done, but it is happening. Okay, another question. Come on, everyone. Okay.
Yeah.
Angel.
Hi.
Oh,
Elizabeth.
okay, Liz, go ahead.
Hi. Hi, everyone. It's not really a question. It's just, well, number one, Charlotte, thank you for sharing because Donna answered a lot of questions that I had. And also Denise. There's a date that I was told is very important. So if any of you resonate with December the 20th, oh my goodness. Anyway, getting goosebumps all over my body. I just wanted to share that with you because we all have slightly different gifts. And one that I'm hoping to reestablish is I used to work with challenged children and horses. And even though I'm pushing 80 in this body, to be able to do that again. Yeah, anyway.
It's coming. It's coming.
I know.
Yeah.
Oops, I'm getting really emotional here, kids. Like I was this morning, Donna. And could you believe getting up at 6:30 and having to go back to bed at 9 o'clock? Anyway.
Okay, our bodies are going through lots and we're
Yeah.
doing the best we can with the challenges that each day presents. And just know that we've already won the war. We're just healing the wounds. And
Yeah.
that's what these days are about. So yes, horses and animals are going to be a big part of our future. Thanks for sharing that, Liz. And just put
Thank
your mute back on. Okay, Angel.
So I know you had mentioned that the chemtrails are now hydroxychloroquine. I had also heard that. Do you know if our food system is going to be repaired, where things are at with that, or water, all the ways that they're kind of poisoning us? Is there other things coming down the pipeline to heal our food system and our water, I guess?
Yes, they are already in place. The restoration of our food and water and all the resources has already been established. However, because humanity has used to getting everything produced out of their area, not preserving for themselves, not providing for themselves, there is going to be a season of lack. And that is to increase the value of people realizing that what you create for your own family, the food that you plant, the food you preserve, has value and purpose, and energetically, and the frequencies of that is so essential to the health and well-being of our own communities. So part of our project being community gardens, community harvesting, community resourcing, that is in the development stages as well. And that is why we're doing that, is to teach people how to grow their own food again. And it's not about everybody growing everything. The new community is all based on, if you have a passion for growing tomatoes, be the tomato grower. Don't be the tomato and cucumber and radish and carrot. No, just create something that can provide for everyone and do it with love. And then you supply that to everyone, and everyone is blessed and benefits. And when they all come together to share their bounty, that is part of creating unity. So yes, right now there is going to be some shortage, so that people reassess the value of what food is. It's not a package, it's not a process. It's a union and a relationship with nature, the way it was meant to be. So yeah, okay,
Awesome.
question. Keep those hands flying up.
Mine's up.
Aye, mine. Go ahead, Yvonne.
Donna, I mean, in an idyllic or visionary way, I get that, but I honestly can't see living in a city or condos, apartments, there's no way people can be growing their own food.
There's no land between the buildings?
That would take such a massive thing. I mean, even speaking for my condos,
Yeah,
it's still a
exactly.
board, right? They're not going to turn green space into some, and you can't feed like we've got 23 floors.
Mhm.
That's 230 condo units, and they're putting up another one. Like there's not enough land to grow anything for massive high rises. Down
Well-
by the lake, you don't have any green space to grow.
Yeah, they've made sure of that. When you look at the amount of Ontario land that has been paved over, that was prime agriculture land over the last 30 years, it's criminal. What will happen there, Yvonne, is that your community as a building will create a resource and a connection with a community that can provide. And it's a matter of learning to work together. Because if people want to be fed well and they want to have quality of food, they have to create a relationship somewhere to sustain that and provide that. But I do also know that a lot of the older buildings that are toxic, whether they've been in like a production building that has a chemical production or any kind of toxic waste, that those buildings will be taken down and the land that they are on will be cleared. But that is going to take time. It's all about reclaiming the land for the people that live in the community. But until that happens, it is being able to support each other and the people that live in the country sharing the bounty of what they have with the people in the city. It's building community and trusting that no one deserves to starve and that will not be allowed under the humanitarian projects. The transition is going to be rough because a lot of attitudes have to change. A lot of attitudes. People just feel that they're entitled to a lot of things, which as a human being, we are entitled to food, water, shelter, love. We are entitled to that. But they also have to be willing to contribute something that blesses and benefits in exchange for what they need. That's how we connect again. We've all been separated and isolated so that that doesn't happen. And you're going to see it start to build again. Those little bridges that are essential to everyone profiting and doing well. Okay.
The way I sense that too, Yvonne, just to add on to that, is that maybe you're going to be the one helping with technology, or somebody else in your building is going to be knitting something. So you're going to be providing, it's going to be more of a bartering. That's the way I'm feeling it in my body, that it's going to be, people may not have room to grow things, but you'll be providing a service or a support of some sort that will help the farmer. And that's the way I feel it. Would that be true, Donna?
Oh, absolutely. It's all about everybody doing the best that they can instead of everybody trying to do everything, which is the way our society has been set up, where every single home is designed where you have to do everything.
Mhm.
And we know on the stress level scale, that is not possible. We need to have, one parent working in a community while the other parent is nurturing and raising the children. And if not yours, someone else's. It's like we have to build community in a way that is sustainable. And the exchanges that will happen will come from your gifts and abilities so that you don't have to do everything. It's not humanly possible, as we've discovered. So, okay. Question. Yeah, go ahead, Liz.
It's not a question, but I just had a visual of rows and rows of greenhouses.
Mhm.
I hope, Yvonne, that answers your question
Mhm.
about food.
It doesn't, honestly, because when you think of the huge population in metropolitan cities, something else, if this is the way we're going, then, I mean, just looking out my window, I'm probably looking at 100 buildings. So there is no way that that kind of a transition I personally can't see that that would happen easily, or people growing their stuff, or somebody saying they're going to be the technology person in the building. Honestly, it's very hard for me and my humanity. I'm being very honest. I can see it if you're in a rural area. Rural areas are used to living that way. You know, people come together, they have fall fairs, they have, you know, butter tart festivals, they do this, you know, you've got St. Jacob's. That's common to that kind of living. But in a huge metropolitan city, something else is likely going to happen.
Mhm. Yeah. Well, maybe some of those schools that they've been closing and shutting down will be opened up as all year round greenhouses, because the technology is there to do it. The transition, you're right, it's going to be rough. It's going to be challenging and difficult. And I feel that that is part of what we can contribute, is by creating a specialist team that can go in and come up with some resources and ways of contributing to making it a better world. It's still going to be a challenge to transition it, but if we already have systems and ideas and programs available, at least that step is already in place when the whole thing rolls out. So yeah, it's a good question, Yvonne, and I think it's one well worth pursuing when it comes to people that might be interested in just that, in providing food for those that can't grow it. Yes, Mina.
I just wanted to share, I was in Hong Kong, which is a very, like, so many people there, right? And what they did was all the what we have stores were, for them, little factories.
Mhm.
Well, some of them were, you know, even steel worker working in some of them. Some of them were butchers. Some of them were, you know, doing all kinds of different services. So, you know, the problem with our country is that we outsourced all those things that we buy.
Yeah.
So we need to bring that back. We need the seamstress back in, the bike, you know, the repair guys, the electricians. We need all those manufacturers back. And so, like, what's happened in Toronto, for example, in that area, all those factories have closed.
Mhm.
So, and we import all that stuff. Well, now we've got to go backtrack, I think,
Mhm.
and say, okay, we can't do that. We've got to produce here,
Mhm.
and then barter and trade with the people that are the food producers, because they cannot produce enough food in the city for
No.
what they need. So they're going to have to build something that's going to be needed by other people. So everybody's got to become an entrepreneur.
Yeah, to address that in a stage 2 or step 2 of the concept, my understanding is that every single home is going to be given a replicator. Now, I know this gets right into Star Trek and right into the next level of energy manifestation, but these replicators, from what I understand, can produce absolutely anything.
Yeah.
What you ask for, it manifests and creates. It goes along with the free energy that every home will have, the free internet, all of the ways of communicating and connecting and rebuilding community. The components are all sitting there waiting, but the green light hasn't been given yet. So it really is being consciously aware that there are going to be some things that need to be done manually or traditionally for a period of time. But I don't expect that anyone in this world, once this whole thing triggers, is going to starve. There are ways and means of doing it that some of us are aware of, and some, you know, it's just too hard to imagine it being done other ways. But I'm already seeing in the greenhouse industry that the amount that they can produce in such a short time, just based on proper nutrients being fed to plants and seeds, that it's not chemically done. It's energetically and vibrationally done, almost like homeopathy. So this is the kind of nourishment that our bodies can work with and experience that is incredibly helpful. So I pray that, you know, that will all be in place and that people can open their hearts to allow that blessing to come into their lives and into their communities. But yeah, it is going to be challenging. Okay, so if there's one more question, we'll take it. Otherwise, maybe we'll do an introduction of those that we haven't been seeing before. Maybe they'd like to just introduce themselves. No more questions? Okay. All right. Any new members that would like to introduce yourself and what you bring to the circle of our creation here that you're passionate about or excited about? That's good too. What brought you here? Go ahead, Ruth. Oh, you have to unmute, Ruth. I know it's a little bit of a nuisance, isn't it?
It's okay. It's okay. I'm so happy to be a part of your group. Okay, first of all, I know it says Ruth's iPad. My new name is Pearl. So if you can remember that, please call me Pearl. And I happen to be a sister to Pashana, who's in your group, and a good friend of Dee Dee's. So so they've roped me in. I live in a community in southern Manitoba. It's a farming community. I live in a small city of about 15,000. And we're blessed here because we do a lot of gardening, and I see what you're talking about. I'm watching it happen because people are renting gardens and planting their yards full, and they're learning to cooperate with each other and help each other out. And we are beginning to share the gifts that we have with each other. I do see this happening. On the other hand, I live in a community, and this is why I'm so thrilled to be a part of you, because they don't know about quantum.
No, they don't.
No, they don't. And it's actually a very religious community.
Mhm.
And even for myself right now, I really have nobody within my community that I can share about the wonderful things that I'm learning, that you're talking about, and that my spirit just rejoices in and has for a long time. And thankfully, Passion and I, we discuss these things every day and keep each other buoyed up. But I also live in a community where it's still very 3D, it's very religious. I love my friends, but sometimes I'm torn between where do I go from here? What do I do?
Mhm.
And I know I'll be guided.
Absolutely. You've been put in the community for a reason. And for the most part, those of us who have been positioned are silent and invisible because our time is not now. And when the
Right.
funding does come through, where we have the capacity, the ability, and the finances to help communities survive, that they're going to accept you. Trust me. They're going to love the fact that you're there, and they will appreciate the fact that you are someone who has lived amongst them in such a gentle, spirited way that you're not making noise, you're not making waves, you're just integrating into the system, the community that as it is, and loving everyone where they are. And that to me is the greatest gift that you can bring to any community right now.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank
Welcome
you.
aboard. Thank you for joining. Okay, who else has, anyone else? Pashna, go ahead. You'll have to unmute.
Well, I'd just like to chime in because my sister Pearl and I are so agreed on this journey. And I think that is the one thing I'm happy to share with you, that absolutely every word you've spoken and all the comments from this group of mostly ladies, it just rings so absolutely true. And it's very logical because I'm also seeing it already happening on a small scale. I feel I'm also in a community already where we share food and we get together and discuss what's going on and how we're handling situations and meditating and preparing ourselves for whatever the next step is.
Mhm.
So I'm fortunate that I retired last year. I had a career in financial planning. And I have a large family, and I'm fortunate that I'm able to give myself now to this family and this community and a number of people that have joined us. And we feel we have our tribe,
Mhm.
and I feel we found our peace and our joy, and we are growing food.
Mhm.
And I just I just want to emphasize that everything you speak and everything we see coming forward, it's already being manifested in little ways in our lives now already, and
Yeah.
it's I'm also
I call it
so
the pebble in
grateful.
the pond.
Mhm.
It's like initially we were these ignored energies that dwelled amongst other people and no one really knew we were there. And
Yeah.
it seemed to me that the method that we've used as in our humanness is we've tried to change everything so that we can feel we belong and feel better. But the actual idea or the energetic value is being yourself. Just put yourself into the community, and that one thing changes everything. So it's a lot less stressful from the idea of trying to change everyone and everything to just change yourself, be yourself, stand in the light, and everything changes. And I believe that's what the communities are starting to recognize now, and they're being built on that concept. So beautiful that you have committed yourself to being the one in your pond
Mhm.
that is there to change everyone and everything in a beautiful way by just being yourself. Yeah. Lots
I'd
of
like
love.
to think we're the light, and others will catch a spark from us and
Yeah.
also become the light.
Yeah. By example, we lead, and I do trust that people will notice the difference and discover that they too can find the way, that there are others who can share and hold the light. That's what we can do, hold the light. All right. Anyone else wanting to step forward? Because we are just about at our time, but we have time for one more. No, everybody's in that contented state. All right, then let's do a beautiful blessing prayer of just gratitude and thankfulness for this opportunity
Donna?
to join together. Yes.
Donna, if I
Yeah.
have your permission,
Mhm.
while sitting here, I got a little bit of a visit.
Oh, good. I always love the visits from Helen.
Okay. So I just wrote them down in point form. Anybody that's watching this recording, it may be for them, or it could be someone here in this group. So I felt like his name was John, so he feels like a father figure to me. And there's something about him as a project manager, may have worked for communications like Bell at some point, but there's an inventive side of him. So whether he was always trying to patent something or had great ideas, but didn't always fulfill them. So he feels very inventive to me. He's also giving me like a sneaky smile to him. So there's something about either a smirk or some kind of a smile to him, pushing the fact that he liked to travel anywhere warm. That's what he was pushing on me. Also, he had either like a receding hair, or like a bald spot, or was very insecure about his hair. But there's something around this area here. I feel like that the person that he wishes to connect with has to detox, may be suffering with some kind of itchy skin, or I don't know, it felt like around this area here or the arms. The person is also feeling stuck. And the message is for this person is to take the leap of faith and to get it out of your mindset that you're stuck, because you're not. Okay, so there's an insecurity there. He also mentions that you know where to go to, whether it's like a river or a stream or some kind of a lake or a special place up at the cottage, but you know where this space is, and that is where you are to go to and talk to him. And I think that's everything. Something about physical. Oh, he also makes me feel that he may have been working out or just taking care of his well-being, his body. Like I feel like he may have liked hiking or just looking after his health. So there's that. So I'll leave you with that.
Okay, nice when people show up to our meetings. Thank you, Helen. And just a heads up for those of you who haven't really gotten to know everyone in our group just yet. Helen is going to be doing a session next week to help everybody with grief and loss. So stay tuned for that one. There will be more information coming out, and you'll get to see some of the blessings of this special angel that we hold very dear to our hearts in our world. And yeah, we'll start sharing the blessings that each one of us bring to the table and get to know each other that way. So, all right, well, I'll try again. If there's anybody wants one more comment or question, we're good. Okay, let's do our closing prayer then. Heavenly Father and Earthly Mother, brothers and sisters of the universe and the holiest of holies within creation, we give thanks and gratitude for your presence in our circle and in our lives. And we just ask that you would continue to guide us and inspire us, sometimes having to nudge or push us forward in directions that we may be hesitant to go at times. We know that we are here to serve in the way of community. We are here to assist humanity in the great transition taking place. And we are truly honored and grateful for those roles that we play. And we just ask that you continue to inspire us and direct us in the most benevolent way. And so it is.
And so it is. Donna,
Yes.
could I ask if I can share my little angel?
Yes.
We have everybody send healing.
Mhm.
Hang on. I'm coming. Here she is.